Hey there, welcome to the channel. I'm Cindy Daychuck with Queen Bee Creations, and today we're going to do another Halloween craft. I know I don't do many of these. I don't know why Halloween's never been my thing. Once I got old enough that I couldn't go collecting candy anymore, it kind of lost its appeal. We all have our priorities. But here's the deal. I thrifted this little mirror and we're going to hopefully use it. Now it's all glued back here. So what I am going to do with glasses on so I can see what the heck I'm doing, I'm going to try and cut through the backing and oh Lord, and okay, this is what I'm seeing. I am seeing this is all hot glued in. All right, so I'm gonna cut the backing off and I'm gonna peel it back. I'm gonna see about that hot glue and whether or not I can get that mirror out. Do I have to get it out? All right, it makes my life easier if I can get it out. If I can't get it out, I'll regroup. Maybe I can make it work. I don't know. All right, let's see what I can do and what I can find. Because right now, that cardboard is glued in there too. And I definitely need to have access to the back of the mirror for this project. And I'm really excited about this project. So I'm gonna have to dig a lot of glue out. It's the way things go sometimes in the crafting world that it's not always totally smooth sailing. All right, good enough, good enough. Here's where we go next. We have to sand off this mirrored finish. Now I don't want it all sanded off. I actually want just more kind of in the center-ish, and I don't need it to be perfectly clear. If I leave some of that mirror finish on, it will still have kind of a smoky look. So this is something that I'm actually gonna take outside and do. You can do it by hand. This is, you can see this stuff coming off first. So you can do it by hand. You probably, you know, do it outside, wear a mask. You could use a machine, right? So you could use an electric sander. But again, you want to kind of get through this part. This is just paint on the back, and then we get to the mirror finish below. But we want to ultimately have some of this, leaving it around the edges and then rough in the center so that it's all kind of smoky looking. So I'm gonna get my electric sander out to do a little bit of a better, faster job and take it outside. So I'm not breathing any of this in, and I'm probably gonna wear a mask in addition to doing that. Just better safe than sorry. Okay, now this, see how I just did kind of the center, and I don't know if you can see me in there just slightly looking through. That's what we want, just kind of hazy. And I did this big enough. We're gonna put a picture in there. We're doing reverse decoupage, which means I'm gonna decoupage something to the back. See my hand? That's where we're gonna go. But before that, I don't want it to be this gold color, but I don't mind it being gold. So, meaning, I'm just gonna take some black wax and I'm gonna go over my piece with the black wax. Just kind of working it down in. I've got a little stencil brush that I use for my waxes. And I'm just gonna get that down into all the lows. And I have an old t-shirt when my guys have, you know, kind of not outgrown their t-shirts, but they're no longer good enough to wear. I take them and cut them up and I use them as shop rags. you know, just when they're not good enough to donate because they're ratty, good use for them. Same thing with old ratty sweat socks and things like that. They're perfect for applying stains and all that kind of stuff. So what I'm looking at doing is kind of getting this more antiqued and aged looking. So I'm not going to want to rub all of it off. You can see I'm going to get a lot more gold going up because that wax isn't going to have much to sit in, but I don't want it to be just all black. You could paint it black and then just use a little bit of gold highlight if you want. In essence, I'm just kind of doing the reverse, right? And this wax will dry overnight, but I get this kind of effect versus where it's at. So we're gonna get the front of this all done. And then I'll show you where we're going with the next step. And this is actually quite a quick little process to be able to create the look that we're after. But I think, you know, when I thrifted this mirror for $6, it was just the kind of perfect little shape and look for what I wanted to do. That's the mirror, just so it looks a little bit more antiqued. And then we're turning it over and making sure I know which is the top, because we are going to, let me get my wax out of the way and grab a brush. And we're going to take some decoupage medium of your choice. I have this open and it's getting toward the bottom. But we are going to decoupage a picture in here. And because I still have this painted surface, let me decoupage it this way so you can see. Because I still have this painted surface, I can put the decoupage medium over that. You're not going to see it. But we're going to take this picture that I downloaded off the internet, and we're going to put her into the middle. So I'm going to kind of just roughly tear off some of the parts of her that I don't need, because it's way outside of my frame, and it'll be easier to see what I'm doing. And we're going to put her on the inside. And because, whoops, okay, that was the tear I didn't intend. We'll see how that goes. Oh, you can't even see it. I mean, I could go reprint another one. It's not a big deal. But all I'm going to do is paint my decoupage medium all over that glass. And because it's modeled looking anyway, right? It's not perfectly clear. You don't have to worry about whether or not there are streaks in your decoupage medium, or, you know, whether you got it perfectly smooth. It'll all be okay. And I just want to sort of get her centered here and get my little broken edge in there. There we go. And put that down. And I'm going to decoupage over top of it just to get it nicely anchored down. So maybe I should make sure that she's where I need her to be. Oh, Oh, she's pretty darn good. Okay. So let me just get her anchored. I'll have a chance, and then I'll show you. Oh, big bubbles, big wrinkles. It'll be okay. This is not a super, gee, you have to be perfect with your decoupaging kind of exercise. All right, let me show you. And this is what we end up. We end up with this hazy look. You get to see the camera, but you see how she's just fuzzy in there and just kind of floating in there. So I'm just going to leave everything to dry overnight, and then we can take a closer look. But I love this. It's just such a fun little thing where you just hang it and it looks like it's a mirror, and then people look and they see the witch instead of themselves. Kind of fun. I've given our mirror the night to dry, and it's hard to show you with all the reflections here. But what's cool about this is that as much as it looks pretty graphic to you, in real life it's a lot softer. So when I look into the mirror, I actually I can see elements of my face and the witch's face, which is a little freaky, and now I'm worried about aging. The difference with this, because I had used it was just on printer paper, right? I don't have to back it with anything. If this was a decoupage paper or a piece of tissue paper or rice paper, I may want to go in and paint the reverse side to make it stand out or to darken it a little bit, that sort of thing. But I was already far ahead, and the rest still is mirrory. Okay, no such word, but you're with me. Okay. I could have sanded that down and made it kind of spotty so that it wasn't as perfect, right? But I liked that she came through more smoky, that there's still a lot of mirror in front of her in streaks and patches. So that's where I'm getting my face image, which was sort of the look that I was going after, given that this was Halloween. Now, bear in mind, I did this for Halloween, but you could take this idea and move in other directions with it. So perhaps you have a little picture frame and you have an old looking picture of grandparents or family, and you want to make it look a little bit like the old tin types, then you could do the same sort of thing and then put that picture in behind it. In which case, you know, depending, you don't have to necessarily decoupage it if you don't want it to be permanent. You could just, you know, tape it in place if the tape isn't going to show. But you can also take a photograph of it, print it out on your printer paper and decoupage it in so that you're not damaging the original. But you can get this, play up the old age look of it. Or you could do the same with pictures of your kids when they're little, but kind of make it into something that's kind of different looking or fun this way. And the amount of the mirror that you take off, or the way that you take it off, how scratchy you leave it, how perfect you remove it, I mean, all creates different looks. So it's definitely something to play with. And Lord knows there are so many old mirrors in thrift stores for you to be able to try this with. And it's a great thing to do with really aged mirrors, you know, where already the mirroring is splotchy. you could do the same sort of thing, decoupaging maybe some florals into some of those spots so you see them peeking through, and it doesn't look so off anymore. It just gives a really cool kind of accented look. Now, the other thing is the frame is, don't always think that, you know, when you're looking at trying to age something out, I could have painted it totally black because it was for Halloween, but I like the look because of the details in that it already had kind of this two-tone metallic look. I liked playing that up with using just the black wax and having it sit in the lows and some of the little creases on the mirror. So for me, I liked the aged look of this. There was different directions that you could have taken, but I liked showing you in this instance just that we didn't even have to paint it. We just needed a little bit of wax, and it gave us kind of this spooky old mirror on the wall kind of look to it, which is sort of what I was after. Let me know what you think of this one, guys. Let me know if you've tried doing the reverse decoupage into mirrors. I think I have a video on the channel where I did the reverse decoupage into glass, so using a frame, and then did the mirroring effect around it. So if you're not starting with a mirror, there's a way to be able to create this by creating your own mirror. So check that one out on the channel. There's just look for the little magnifying glass image, type in your search terms to reverse decoupage, it'll probably pop up. There's like almost 700 videos there, guys. So I get that you can't go scrolling back through everything, but use the search function on the website to be able to look for different ideas and different concepts. I try not to repeat the same thing over and over and over again, just so that those that have been with me for a while, you're not seeing the same thing constantly. And those that are new, you know what? Search. There's so much there. Thanks for tuning in. As always, looking forward to your comments on this one, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Until then, take care.